King Charles is under intense fire as Meghan Markle's latest revelations shake the monarchy to its core. Leaked documents, media deals, and explosive claims have triggered what royal experts now call the most unprecedented crisis of his reign. Shockwaves at the palace. Meghan's latest move forces King Charles into crisis mode. The monarchy was jolted when news broke of Meghan Markle's upcoming media deal, alongside leaked memoir fragments and allegations involving senior royals. The timing, royal insiders admit, blindsided the palace, arriving just as King Charles was attempting to project stability in his reign. According to senior aides, a late-night emergency strategy session was convened within hours. The catalyst? Private correspondence between Meghan and multiple senior royals, allegedly now in the hands of publishers. The king, already under strain from health setbacks, was said to be personally shaken, with one source comparing the fallout to the impact of the Oprah interview, only more dangerous in its implications. This latest blow was not dismissed as a tabloid frenzy. Royal experts labeled it unprecedented in modern royal history, both for its potential legal weight and its power to undermine the monarchy's credibility during a time of internal transition. The trigger: Meghan's secret dossier and allegations of palace bias. New reporting reveals Meghan has compiled a highly detailed archive, including emails, texts, and personal journal entries, documenting her time as a working royal. Multiple insiders confirm that select excerpts are being offered to top-tier media platforms, including outlets Meghan previously criticized for bias. The documents reportedly center on unnamed senior royals, with suggestions of racial bias, institutional resistance, and internal exclusion. Some messages appear to directly contradict earlier public statements from both sides, raising new credibility concerns. One senior palace figure called it a weaponized narrative. While Meghan's team describes the material as truth-telling, palace insiders believe the release is calculated, not cathartic. This isn't just about setting the record straight, it's about reshaping history. And the monarchy knows, once this story is out, there may be no pulling it back. Charles under fire. Advisors divided on how to respond. Inside the palace, a growing rift has emerged among King Charles's most trusted aides. Some advocate for a swift legal response, insisting the monarchy must defend itself or risk losing public trust. Others urge silence, fearing that confrontation will only accelerate the revelations and trap the palace in another media cycle dominated by Meghan and Harry. Charles himself is torn. One courtier described him as a father first, a monarch second, caught in a storm he can't control. Veteran aides are comparing the moment to Queen Elizabeth's handling of the Diana interview in 1995. The difference now? Social media, faster cycles, and a monarchy with less margin for error. As one royal historian put it, the Sussex crisis didn't end when they left. It merely paused, and now it's roaring back at the worst possible time. The public turns, sympathy erodes, questions mount. Public support is shifting. Polling data shows that Meghan's standing has eroded, particularly among UK respondents aged 45 and older. Sympathy has begun to pivot toward King Charles and Prince William. On social media, the dominant tone is no longer solidarity. It's skepticism. Terms like opportunistic and miscalculated are trending in commentary. Major outlets, including the BBC and The Times, have begun scrutinizing the timing of Meghan's revelations, particularly as the king navigates serious health concerns and transitions power within the firm. The American press is also shifting. Once deferential, major international headlines now describe the controversy as a strategic media play, not a healing statement. Behind palace doors, the reaction is clear. The public mood is cooling, and time for quiet diplomacy may be running out. William and Catherine step in. The firm begins quiet countermeasures. While Charles wrestles with public reaction and personal pain, Prince William has moved swiftly behind the scenes. Sources close to Kensington Palace confirm he ordered a containment strategy within hours. His first instruction: keep Catherine insulated. The Princess of Wales has since focused exclusively on apolitical, high-visibility roles, school visits, charity events, and hospital engagements. Her dignity stands in contrast to the drama. William's next move: coordination with senior press officers to reaffirm the firm's stability. Quiet but firm messaging now flows to editors. The monarchy remains united. The work continues. According to one palace aide, William confided, "The crown cannot be dragged into chaos. Not again." His and Catherine's measured presence has become the clearest counter-narrative to Meghan's media storm. Calm, composed, and unmistakably royal. Media reaction, headlines, hypocrisy, and institutional damage. The media response has been swift, divided, and, in some corners, exhausted. British outlets like The Telegraph, The Sun, and the Daily Mail are running wall-to-wall coverage, but this time, their tone is notably sharper toward Meghan. Editorials openly question why private royal disputes keep resurfacing as monetized projects. Several columnists accuse Meghan of leveraging family trauma to maintain relevance, especially given King Charles's visible health decline. Internationally, the shift is also clear. Once protective platforms like the New York Times and The Guardian are now asking whether this is about justice or carefully timed vengeance. Some broadcasters are calling the moment another Sussex storm. But inside media boardrooms, there's growing concern over the long-term damage this continued cycle may inflict on the monarchy's public role and its taxpayer support. As one media insider warned, another escalation, and Parliament may start asking real questions about royal funding. Parliament. Whispers: MPs begin asking constitutional questions. The controversy is no longer confined to tabloids and royal watchers. Behind closed doors in Westminster, MPs have begun quietly discussing the broader implications of repeated royal scandals. Select members of Parliament are reportedly reviewing whether current structures, such as royal immunity and the line of succession, are still appropriate in the modern era. A senior backbencher told political reporters, "When dysfunction becomes routine, reform stops being radical. It becomes necessary." One select committee has allegedly asked for briefings on the monarchy's internal operations, particularly how it handles personal disputes that have institutional consequences. While no formal inquiry has been announced, the tone has shifted. The crown, once sacrosanct, is now the subject of cautious but growing scrutiny. And that in itself is a signal. Public trust is not infinite, and neither is Parliament's patience. Behind the palace walls, Charles's personal strain becomes visible. The toll on King Charles is beginning to show. Insiders say the monarch appears visibly thinner, more withdrawn, and increasingly reliant on close aides to manage engagements. 2 private meetings were cancelled last week, and ceremonial planning for upcoming events has been quietly postponed. Courtiers describe him as deeply wounded and emotionally exhausted. One senior staffer said, "This isn't just political, it's personal." Queen Camilla, typically the king's anchor, is reportedly furious over the renewed Sussex fallout. In private, she has allegedly called it a targeted attack on a fragile institution. Charles, long determined to be a modern monarch, now faces a brutal question. Can a modern monarchy survive in a world where family feuds are streamed, sold, and serialized? As one insider put it, the king is leading a monarchy fighting fires on every front, public, political, and personal. Royal experts declare this a turning point, unlike anything seen before. Historians and royal commentators are nearly unanimous. This is not just a scandal, it's a systemic fracture, and it may be the most dangerous yet. Veteran biographer Robert Lacey told BBC Radio, "This is not about one interview or one book. It's about slow, calculated erosion of the monarchy's authority." Others are drawing comparisons not just to Diana, but to Edward VIII, a moment where the monarchy teetered between tradition and collapse. Royal correspondent Camilla Tominey noted, "The Sussexes have created a media echo chamber that outpaces Buckingham Palace at every turn." As these narratives gain global attention, even foreign media now question whether the firm can keep up. Experts agree. What happens next will define Charles's reign, not just its tone, but its survival. The endgame. Will Charles confront, adapt, or retreat? The palace now stands at a historic crossroads, and King Charles must make a decision that could define not only his reign, but the monarchy's future. Three paths lie before him, and each carries deep risks. Confrontation means pushing back against Meghan's claims through legal channels, official rebuttals, or public denials. But that choice invites escalation. Royal insiders warn that Meghan may possess more unreleased material, including private recordings and journal entries that could further inflame the situation. The palace fears a new media blitz, one that could trigger irreparable damage to the crown's public trust. Silence, however, is just as dangerous. Refusing to respond has already been interpreted by some as tacit guilt or weakness. Public patience is wearing thin, and critics argue that in the age of transparency, a silent monarchy feels out of step and out of touch. Reform, the boldest and most unpredictable option, would involve restructuring royal roles, reassessing public funding, and drawing firm constitutional boundaries around royal privilege and accountability. While some modernists welcome the idea, senior royals and traditionalists view it as a direct threat to monarchy stability, fearing it could open the door to future political interference. At the heart of it all is Prince William, who is reportedly urging swift and decisive action. According to sources close to Kensington Palace, William has advocated for a total public break from Harry and Meghan. No HRH titles, no security privileges, no invitations to royal events. His reasoning is firm. The institution must come first, even before family. But for Charles, the choice isn't that simple. He is not only king, he is also a father. And despite everything, he still harbors hopes of reconciliation, fearing that cutting Harry off entirely could leave an emotional scar from which neither he nor the monarchy would fully recover. Yet the time for reflection is closing fast. Senior aides warn that weeks, not months, remain before the media narrative spins beyond the palace's control. Delaying action could be seen as weakness, emboldening critics and undermining public confidence in Charles's ability to lead. One longtime royal advisor described the situation bluntly. "The king isn't just managing a crisis, he's shaping his legacy. Whatever path he chooses, it must be bold, final, and unwavering." In this moment, Charles must decide who he truly is. A monarch guided by tradition? A father hoping for redemption? Or a ruler willing to redraw royal boundaries to protect the crown at all costs? The world is watching. The monarchy is holding its breath. And Charles has only one chance to get it right. With legacy on the line, Charles must act swiftly, or risk watching the monarchy unravel under the weight of silence and scandal.